So, hello, my name is Sean. My speech is titled Denton as an Early Warning Sign, How National Policies Become Local Pressure. So, Denton is not just another small college town. It is a unique local ecosystem with its own unique culture, politics, and identity. But today, I'm focusing on what Denton's crime statistics may reveal beneath the surface. My argument is simple. National policy does not stay national. It becomes local pressure. It shows up in police data, police services, housing, schools, courts, and trust. I want to begin locally. In 2020, Denton recorded 10,000 total crime rows. By 2022, that number had risen by 12,000, a 19.5% increase. After that, the number begins to cool, 11,900 in 2024 and 11,204 in 2025. At first, this looks simple. Crime rises, crime peaks, crime cools. That's not the entire story, though. Denton's all other offense category does not cool. In fact, it rises every single year from 869 offenses in 2020 to 2,023 in 2025. That is an increase of 132.8%. This is the warning sign. The main crime total is cooling, but the broadest and least specific category keeps rising. The troubling part is has to ask what is being hidden inside the category. How can people understand crime trends if categories growing the fastest also categories that are least understood or least presented? This is where Denton becomes an early warning sign. Pressure does not always disappear. Sometimes it moves. Now compare that to England. In England and Wales, the non-UK born population rose from 7.5 million in 2011 to 10 million in 2021. London is even more concentrated, about 40.6% non-UK born. At the same time, shoplifting rose 20%, fraud rose, estimated 4.2 million incidents, and London's recorded crime continues upwards. Denton rises, peaks, and cools. England shows pressure rising, but they do not get the same relief that we were granted. But the deeper issue is classification. When categories change, the official tables become broader and unclear. The public loses the ability to see what is happening. This is where communication matters. I swear I'm trying to look at the camera as much as possible. In his TED Talk, Thurston says, we can change the actions, which changes the story, which changes the system. Isn't that nice? He is right that language can change the system, but that raises the question. When institutions change the language, are they changing the system or are they hiding? Official sources often claim that these cases group-based child sexual exploitation and abuse. CSE means child sexual exploitation. I will use the term because this is a research presentation, but I want to be plainly clear what's inside this language. CSE means children were raped. Group-based child sexual exploitation and abuse, assaults equals rapes. I'm not going to continue using that language, but I need you to understand what that means. It's important. Baroness Casey official audit found that group-based child sexual exploitation, including what people commonly refer to as grooming gangs, was not clearly captured in any official database. That means the system itself could not clearly see the pattern that it was supposed to stop. Casey shows the official failure, but Lowe shows the human cost. The Lowe report, which I suggest you go look up and watch and read. The Lowe report gives a minimum victim estimate of 250,000 girls assaulted repeatedly. While stating that the true total is unknown and likely higher, it anchors the estimate with at least 1,400 victims in Rottingham, more than 1,000 in Telford, and almost 19,000 identified CSE, don't forget that means victims, in 1 year. These were children, not adults, not some abstract victim, children. Some younger than school age, many were school age. The reports did not describe one-time harm. They described repeated exploitation, repeated assaults. Remember what that word means. Repeated failures and years of warning that the institutions did not answer or did not want to answer. The report describes vulnerable girls, overwhelmingly white British, being targeted prominently by Pakistani Muslims offender networks. But the offenders are only parts of the failure. The institutions are the other part. Police failed to protect. Social services failed to intervene. Schools failed to safeguard. Politicians failed to name patterns. Data systems failed to record it clearly. Public communication failed the victim. The offenders committed the crime. The institution allowed the pattern to survive, and the solution begins with honesty. Locally, Denton needs clear categories and clear public reporting. If categories is rising faster than the rest of the system, the public deserves to know what the crimes are. Nationally, immigration policy has to be tied to capacity, housing, wages, schools, courts, policing, and public safety. Globally, countries have to stop pretending that culture does not matter. Cultural differences does not cease at civic duty. I began with a question. I will end with declarations. National policy does not say national. Local systems pay the cost. Hidden pressure does not disappear because officials rename it. A government that hides danger from its own citizens has failed them. A system that protects institutional comfort more than victim has lost the moral order. Compassion without responsibility is not compassion. It is negligence with good branding. It is mercy stripped of duty. It is power wearing the language of kindness while asking the innocents to pay the bills. The offenders committed the crimes. The institution allowed the pattern to survive. The victims paid the cost, and the public was taught not to notice. This is not justice. This is not compassion. This is not accountability. This is betrayal. Thank you.